So now we have Corwin and Luka from ETH.org who've been active in chat. Some really nice interactions over there, and we already kind of have a couple proxy questions for them as well. But okay, so let's get started. I don't know, Corwin, Luka, which one of you is presenting, but I'll just hand it over. Let's get started, and yeah.
Sorry about that. Had to refresh because I couldn't share my screen. Give me one sec here.
No problem.
Okay. Should be good to go. Yeah, thanks for having me back again. I guess I've been here a few times through the years. I think year one was everyone just getting together, working on some Web3 stuff, and now we're getting more aligned on projects, so kind of cool to see where this is going. Last year we presented a bit on Ethereum.org, and happy to be back, so thanks for having us. Wanted to start off just kind of explaining the overview of how our project operates. So we're a public open source resource for Ethereum that anyone can contribute to, and I'll get into later the kind of different ways that we categorize contributions and ways that you can contribute, both technical and non-technical. If you're kind of concerned about not being a dev but want to contribute to this space still, don't worry, we have ways that we can use your help that way. We're a small core team. We're 9 people, sometimes 10 depending on the year, but we're a pretty small dev team working to maintain the website, but we do have thousands of contributions that come from developers, translators, designers, testers, number of different roles. So the website wouldn't be where it is today without the open source contributions that we get. While we do have a small team that maintains it, yeah, we are just a piece of the puzzle. We're not the whole website. So with that, kind of want to show you some progressions of the website. So this was Ethereum.org at first. This is just, you would learn about Ethereum through a small video and get notified when it was ready to launch. Not really much that anyone could contribute to back in the day, not really much information. Then we moved more into the pre-sale. This is the pre-sale version of the website, where you would enter your email address, check what balance you had, see if you bought some funds. But again, not really much there for people to contribute to. Pretty small at the time. 2016, Ethereum's now released. We have some information on Ethereum, but really there's not much there. It's just like, okay, Ethereum's out. Here's, Solidity. You can go learn about development here. And then, 2017 is a little kind of the same version of the site. We're a little further along. We have a few more releases in, but still not much there for information. Just mostly getting you to learn about developer side of Ethereum. So in 2019, I think the Ethereum Foundation realized that, we're kind of squandering an opportunity of making Ethereum.org a great resource for the community, and they set off on a new mission. At least I'm assuming this is how it went. I wasn't there at the time, but I'm going to present it this way. So the Ethereum.org mission from then became, we want to be the best portal for Ethereum.org's growing community, and we wanted to strive to make easy to understand educational content for Ethereum to help new users become familiar with Ethereum and its key concepts. So that's what got us to the version of the site today that we have been building on ever since. So in 2019, they undertook this change, and now you can see we have content in, more beginner-friendly stuff and use Ethereum and learn. We have some more advanced content in the developer section. We have a enterprise section that we don't really need to talk about, and then we have the community section that, we have ways for you to get involved in community and contributing to projects and stuff. So this resource has come a long way since then. We've also been able to translate Ethereum.org into a number of different languages. We have some that are fully translated, like Turkish and Chinese pretty much, or we have a bunch of other languages that are just beginning their journey for translations, which we'll touch on a bit later with Luka. So I kind of quickly wanted to give an overview of like, now that we're where we are now, what is the team kind of looking at moving forward? So, we have this version of the website. It's been going well, but we've noticed ways that we can improve it, especially around, finding information on the website. Ethereum's a challenging topic at best, and we need to try and make it more approachable for users. So we're revamping our nav section to make it a little bit easier to find information, and present our pages a little bit better, so you can kind of follow a journey that you might go down into ethereum.org. We're also going to be revamping some find wallets page. So this is one of our most visited pages on ethereum.org, if not the most visited page. It's one that, is very important for people of Ethereum. They need a wallet to do anything. So we try to provide a nice onboarding experience for people to find wallets. We also want to see where AI can play a role in ethereum.org. So a few ways that we have been thinking of is helping us with content, especially taking hard to understand content and simplifying it. So taking like developer docs topics, bringing them into an easier to understand use case type of a situation. Also like machine translation to help get our content to more eyes across the globe, not just in English, as well as some art experiments. I'm sure there's more that we're working on that I haven't mentioned, but this is we're starting to experiment this year, and this is where we're starting to go. Isabella also linked just now a more in-depth post on our roadmap for the quarter, but that's what I was going to link after, and I guess is in this slide. We also want to improve community onboarding, both for people just coming into Ethereum, but for contributors to the Ethereum.org project as well. We will, as you may have seen if you've been on our repo, we have lots of issues and pull requests. We're working to address those, but continuing to work on maintaining our GitHub repository, improving our ability to do that, improving our content comprehension. Like I was saying, Ethereum.org is there to be a resource largely for new users at this point, I believe. We still want to make sure we have advanced content, but I think our focus as a team now has been how do we get new people into the space and understand what they're doing. Also, Dankun's coming up, so we need to get some content up for that. We also partner with a lot of teams at the Ethereum Foundation to build projects, and one that we're taking on is the Next Billion website. So can't share too much on that right now, but that'll be done by the end of the quarter for everyone to see. And continue to improve our translation program in Crowdin, which Luka will touch on more later anyways. So a lot that we're working on this quarter, but we can still always use hands and community contributions, because this is mainly what our core team is focusing on. So going into that, like what kind of stuff can we use hands with as from the community on ethereum.org. So I find some big ones that we find helpful, even though it might seem small, is just finding bugs on the website and reporting them to us. So if you want to do that, you can either find a bug and just open up a new issue in the issues tab for us, and we'll find it. Just make sure you're using the right template. That always helps a lot for us when we're reviewing this. So anytime you find a bug, just use the website and report it. That helps us a lot so that we can, continue to try and deliver a fairly well-polished website for people to learn from. Other code contributions or other contributions you can use are code contributions. We will continue to go through and label good first issues to try and help filter, 334 issues down to ones that if you guys are interested in contributing to, we will keep adding this good first issues tag to try and funnel you guys there. But these will be largely either content changes or code contribution changes. But if you're interested in helping out that way, this will be the easiest step to get there. Other ways is adding some content to the website. So there's a few that I would really like to highlight. So fixing and improving content will always be helpful, but I think some areas that we could really use in some help with when it comes to fixing and improving content would be our tutorials section would be a great one. We have a lot of tutorials on ethereum.org in various states of relevancy at this point. And it would be great to, go through these tutorials, bring them up to date if they're out of date, or get rid of them if they're like quite out of date. I don't think we're afraid of getting rid of resources that aren't relevant anymore, and finding out which tutorials don't fit that or are not up to the bar that they should be anymore is great to know. One other great one that I would like to see personally is we started building out this quizzes section of Ethereum.org. What they are quizzes on specific pages. So, let's see. We have the What is Ethereum quiz. You can see that that is also found on the What is Ethereum page at the bottom. They're the same quiz that will be in the Quiz Hub or here. The goal of these is to have quizzes at the end of most of our use cases and learn pages. So right now there's just a select few. You can find them all in this Quizzes Hub here. But what would be really great is being able to build out more quizzes. And what we look for with our quizzes is basically they have to match the content that's on the page. So if you're making a question, it has to have relevant content on the page. Otherwise, it's not really reinforcing the content that people would have just read through. So if you would like to contribute quizzes, I would really appreciate that. That is like a huge +1 that we want to extend this feature much more, and we haven't spent enough time getting more time on this or more quizzes for this. But this would be a great way to contribute to Ethereum.org, like reading through a page's content, coming up with a quiz for it, and then helping us build out this feature that would help people, reinforce and let them know that they learned what they were supposed to on the page. And then one of the last ways I'm going to talk about is bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks. Is what I mean when I say this. We run a QA session with the community. So we do our releases on a 2-week cadence. So this week we would have just finished doing one. So on Tuesday we put a release candidate out into our staging environment, and then on Wednesdays we do testing. And so we like to do testing with the community, like to let them get involved, helping us test a release candidate. And then if we don't find any bugs, or realistically any release blocking bugs, then we're able to put it into production on Thursdays, which we've done today. So every 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from now, we do run these QA sessions with the community, and we like to get them involved. And that's a great way for you to contribute, even if you don't know how to code. I'm sure you know how to use a website and find bugs on the website, and then you can file those issues or just bring them up with us in the call. That's a great way to contribute, and we've had a lot of success, especially when we finished migrating to Next.js. We found a lot of release blocking bugs with the community through this initiative. So really looking forward to building this out through the year. With that, I'll pass it on to Luka to go over some other contribution ways, and then let him close it out. So I'll stop sharing.
Thanks, Corwin. Let me just get set up, share my screen. There we go, that should work. All right. Thanks, Corwin. Thanks, Austin, who's already left for the presentations. My name is Luka, and I work on Ethereum.org, mostly focusing on translations on Ethereum.org and some other websites and resources. So Corwin already gave an intro to Ethereum.org and all of that, so I'll skip that and just get straight into my part. I'm going to cover two of the main ways for non-developers to contribute to the site. And while I'm aware that most of you on this call are developers, and Austin's and Corwin's part probably already has you covered, maybe you're also bilingual or have friends who aren't comfortable contributing on GitHub, in which case you can share some of our links with them and help them find their feet as non-technical contributors in this space, which is a large and sometimes overlooked part of contributing as well. The first way I'd like to mention is contributing to translations on the website. So we have an open translation program that anyone can join and contribute to, which has been live since 2019, and over 5,600 individuals have already contributed to it. As a result of this program, Ethereum.org is currently available in 62 languages, and visits to the website in languages other than English have been pretty much up only in the last 3 years. And in 2023, we had over 3 million unique page views in non-English languages on the site. This is a chart of non-English page views versus total page views. As you can see, whatever the general trend in visits to the website is, basically since 2021, visits to the website in languages other than English have been up only, to the point where they're currently account for almost a third of all visits to the website. And the reason why all of this is important is the fact that we want to make learning about Ethereum and onboarding to the space accessible and easy for everyone, regardless of the languages they speak. And only about 17% of all people in the world speak English at all. So if we're not providing content in other languages, we are limiting a lot of people from reading our content, from learning about Ethereum, from onboarding to the space, which obviously is not ideal. And getting into more of the concrete stuff, the process to join the program and contribute is very simple. Anyone can join our project in Corwin, which is a localization tool that we use, and has a lot of collaborative features, meaning our community of translators can easily work together and collaborate on translating the website content. The review place also takes place in Corwin. The review process also takes place in Corwin, and we have a lot of functionality available to increase the productivity and quality of translations, like a glossary, translation memory, context, screenshots, and much more. I am dropping a link to this in the chat. I see Corwin's already shared the whole collection of links, so that saved me some copy and pasting. Yeah, anyone can join the project via the link that I've just shared, and getting started is as easy as finding some untranslated strings in your language and starting to translate them. This is a screenshot from the Corwin project. This makes it easy. This is the first thing anyone sees when joining our project. From here, it's as easy as clicking on the language, clicking on a file, and starting to translate. So, like I said, the onboarding process is very easy, very straightforward. We also have a page dedicated to the translation program on the website, where you can read more about the why and how of the program, learning how to use Corwin, read up on the guidelines and best practices for translating the website, find some good translation related resources, stuff like that. That's also amongst the links that Corwin's already shared. So it's ethereum.org/contributing/translation program. And in line with the open source nature of the website in general, the translation program is open and anyone can join. And while there is usually no financial compensation for translating the site, apart from occasional competitions that we organize, like the Ethereum.org Translate-a-thon that was just mentioned in the chat, that was something we organized last year and will return this summer as well. We do our best to try and acknowledge and reward contributors in different ways. Just as it's relevant to this, I'm also sharing a now archived page. Isabella already beat me to it. There you go. I don't have to share any more links in the chat. Everything's in there. We're just going to share a link to the Translate-a-thon page just for some additional context. So I was talking about acknowledgements that we have for our contributors and rewards. So some of these include acknowledgement campaigns to claim on-chain achievement tokens and acknowledgements like POAPs, OATs, or other types of tokens. We have public acknowledgements on the site with translator leaderboards and a feature in the developer docs that shows which translators contributed to each page in any language. We've also given out stuff like translator certificates, lens handles, DEF CON ticket discounts, DEF Connect co-work tickets, and swag boxes to our contributors in the past. And we're always exploring new and innovative ways to give back to our community and contributors. which includes initiatives like the Translate-a-thon with actual financial rewards to be won. But in general, the program is intentionally set up in a way where it's open and anyone can contribute and get involved with very low barriers of entry. And in addition to everything that I've mentioned, this is also something that Corwin has already touched on in his part, and Austin as well, is simply starting to contribute in some way is also just an amazing way to get more involved in the space. And as we're talking about Ethereum.org, about half of the core team started as contributors to the site and ended up joining the team full-time after a while, myself included. So there's added value to being a contributor in this space that often gets overlooked, and it's often the best starting point for someone looking to level up and then continue their journey in the Ethereum ecosystem. So that was a quick overview of contributing to the site as a translator. And now I'll also briefly mention another way, which we've been focusing on more and more recently, specifically design contributions. This category of contributions is also pretty broad, and unlike the name suggests, is not only limited to designers. So there is a link to ethereum.org/contributing/design amongst our links. That is a design sub-page we have on ethereum.org, which covers a lot of the different ways how anyone can contribute to design on the website. Now, some of these do require design skills. For example, if you want to make a new illustration for the website, if you want to help us build our design system, if you want to propose design changes, you will likely need some design experience. That being said, if you do have any design experience or know someone who does, the best place to start is to join our Discord and check out the design channel where a lot of these conversations are going on, and our designers often share updates and collaborate with our design contributors. On the other side of the spectrum, there are also plenty of ways to contribute to design on the site with no designer experience or skills. Specifically, anyone can provide feedback to our designs or design prototypes. Anyone can participate in survey research. Anyone can pair up with one of our designers for user testing on the site, which we usually do in real life at conferences and events. And here are just two examples. We have on every single page on ethereum.org, we have a feedback survey that anyone can fill out and share some feedback with us. If that's design related feedback, that is a design contribution without having to have any design experience or knowledge. And another one, just to, I guess, drive home how simple these contributions sometimes can be and still be impactful, is just this. This is a question from one of our designers to our design community. And it is simply asking, what do you think of this new thing that we're building and have just designed, right? And feedback can help a lot. Feedback can help us iterate on stuff. It can help us improve stuff. And it can help us make sure that when we ship new features, they are as good as they can be. So that is mostly it. These are the main two ways how anyone can contribute to ethereum.org without being a developer or having any special technical skills. All it takes is some motivation and a desire to contribute. We also always welcome new members to our community, even if they are not contributors, even if they just want to have a chat on our Discord, use the website to learn, if they want to join our community calls to stay up with what we're doing, that is valuable in itself, right? Even though it's not a contribution. And I guess to wrap us up, we have this slide here. We're happy to share this slide deck with everyone, even if it's just for these links. So to wrap us up, this slide includes all of the main links that Corwin and I mentioned. All of them are basically in the chat as well. And in general, we're also always around and available for questions, thoughts, feedback, or any help that anyone might need. So if anything comes up, if anything is unclear, if anyone needs help, feel free to send either of us a DM and we can help out. Yeah, with that being said, I guess thanks everyone for joining this initiative, and hope to see a lot of you around in the Ethereum ecosystem doing stuff in the near future. With that, I'm gonna hand it back to Wesley.
Perfect. I don't think Wesley's mic is still working, but okay. Thank you so much, Luka. Thank you, Corwin, as well. This was very, very helpful. And I'm just gonna double check if there's any questions right now. I don't see any. They all seem to have been answered. And yep. Okay. If anybody has any questions, we can maybe take one or two right now. We are over time, so we'll start wrapping up otherwise. But yeah, thank you all of you. Thank you everybody for coming. Thank you, Luka and Corwin, again for hosting. And hopefully we get a bunch of ETH.org contributions again this year. And yeah, I appreciate it. I really like the original history lesson, by the way. That was really nice. But perfect. Any last words you have for the audience here before we wrap up?
On my end, I just say thanks everyone for joining. Do get involved, do contribute. It is a great way to learn, to level up, to get involved, to add value, to make an impact, all of those and more. So yeah, I'd leave everyone with that. There's plenty of opportunities, and hope, like I already said, definitely hope to see people stick around and level up in this space.
100%. Perfect. I love the fact that there's also like non-tech contributions possible to this project, which is amazing. I know we had a few people asking about that earlier. So, okay, we'll start wrapping up. Thank you everyone once again. I'm gonna stop the recording and have a great rest of your day. We shall see all of you shortly.